Hello, everybody. Jason of New Ideas Revolution Cave for the second of two videos tonight. We can't go a Monday without LJN Revisited. Of course not. You watched a pickup video a few minutes ago from me, the eraser, the Iron Sheik eraser. And now we're going to take a look at one of my absolute favorite LJN figures, an extremely used figure. One of the best, just one of the best figures that LJN made. I know I did the LJN tournament video a couple of years ago. I can't remember where this person placed, or, you know, if they went up against Greg Valentine in the first round and they couldn't win, or Hogan or whatever. But, you know, it's really hard to say. You know, it's really hard to list like top 3 figures or top 5 or top 10 because, you know, it's always true. But this guy absolutely has to be in my top 10. I used him all the time. I just love this figure. You know, he couldn't be a champion because he's not a champion kind of wrestler. God, just holding him now makes me want to bust out the ring and just have him, you know, face Hogan or beat up on Hillbilly Jim. Kamala. Kamala is a figure that so there was 2 figures that orange. There we go. That's better, right? That's good. That's good, YouTube. Orange skin. There were 2 figures in my life that I remember needing to have. You know, fantasizing about, always going to the store, hoping to see them on the shelf. Big John Studd was one of them. Kamala was the other. I had to have Kamala. I had to have this figure. And I don't remember when I got him. I don't remember how I got him. I really don't. But I had to have this figure. And I would go, you know, to the stores, and I would always be looking for Kamala. When I called the stores, which was on a regular basis, I would call the stores. Do you have any of the LJN wrestling figures, like Kamala, or, you know? And I was always asking for Kamala. And this is just the best. I just love this figure. The play pose is outstanding. I would always do the Kamala chops. And then the Kamala, like, neck thrusts, you know, the thrust. Oh, the kicks. This is such a great figure. I mean, seriously, I might bust out the ring tonight and have him just challenge Hogan, because this is such a good figure. It looks perfect. It's just great. And Kamala, I might do a show on the wrestlers that I was legitimately afraid of. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a show on the 5 wrestlers that I was legitimately afraid of, because Kamala is one of them. And I'm not talking about WWF Kamala. I'm not. I'm talking about Mid-South or Georgia. I think it was more Mid-South when they would do... See, it's so hard to remember. Like, they would do these music videos. Remember when, like... It was always the Southern Wrestling. It wasn't WWF, but they would put together these music video packages of just wrestlers like the Fabulous Ones or Magnum TA or, I don't know, Jerry Lawler. And they did one for Kamala, or they did one for Jerry Lawler, and Jerry Lawler threw a fireball at Kamala, and it just scared. I don't know. Kamala just scared me. He just scared me. But not WWF Kamala. Jerry Lawler Kamala, I think, scared me. I just love it. And WWF 84 Kamala scared me. That's when he was, you know, I was 8 years old. Here's this savage coming to the ring with a spear. You know, and I was just scared of Kamala, and I loved it. And then what? He comes back in like what? When does he come back to the WWF? Kamala. Well, he has to come back in 87 because he's got a figure. I don't remember Kamala coming back and why he came back. But he got a figure. So anyway, but then, you know, good guy Kamala was slick, is silly. Or whoever, was it Harvey Whippleman? I don't remember, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But bad guy, 1984 Kamala, scary. Legit scared me. And then I remember seeing a match with Kamala, and there were two things that made me like, that kind of broke the kayfabe or the, I don't know. It started making me like, it started making me question wrestling a little bit. It's so silly. Two things with Kamala. One, he did the big splash and his little skirt thing flipped up, and he had black wrestling trunks underneath the skirt thing. And I was like, that seems pretty civilized. You know, now I didn't expect him to be nude, but I just thought, like, you're this Ugandan headhunter, bushman, uncivilized human, but you thought to put wrestling trunks on underneath your skirt. The other thing that killed it for me was, it was either a match or a magazine, but there was a close-up of Kamala, again, like with the splash, and he's on all fours, and he's kind of like, you know, he's kind of like hovering over the opponent, and he had a Band-Aid on the back of his ankle. And that was it for me. I was no longer afraid of Kamala. There was a Band-Aid on the back of Kamala's ankle in this magazine article or a match, slow motion, I don't know, but I saw a Band-Aid on the back of Kamala's ankle, and I thought, that's it. This is just a regular guy. He got a boo-boo, and he went into his medicine cabinet and got a Band-Aid and, like, you know, peeled the paper off. Like, I'm picturing Kamala in the bathroom with the war paint on, and he's holding a spear. He's got to put down the spear so he can, like, peel the, what the hell is this? I can't get it. I can't, you know, oh, come on, with the tape. And then he's got to, like, put it on his heel. That just killed it for me. But I love the figure. I absolutely love this figure. It's an absolutely fantastic, perfect figure. I did meet Kamala. I met Kamala at an indie show in Rochester here. My old friend Scott and I, we went to the show, and at those shows we would start drinking before we even got to the show, and then head straight for like the bar, which wasn't a bar, it was just like a stand with, you know, $5 warm Yinglings, which are horrible. And we would just drink our faces off. And then by the time intermission came, we were hammered meeting wrestlers. And so we would do these cool pictures with them. And I remember meeting Kamala, and he just sat in a chair. And he just sat there. And he had one of like the local indie guys put on the Kimchi mask and stuff. So Kimchi was in the photo. But it was just one of the dudes from the show. But, you know, Kamala would just sit there, put up his fist. And I was like, all right, it's Kamala, you know, but, you know, he's not really doing anything. But I did meet him. I did meet Kamala. This is one of those guys that I didn't need to know the real person. You know what I mean? I didn't need to know that Kamala, you know, spoke English and was just a regular guy. I didn't need to know that he lost a leg or, you know, was in a wheelchair, you know, and was down on his luck. I didn't need to know that. I just needed to know that Kamala left wrestling, went back to Uganda, and just lived, you know, with the tribe in a hut and just ate, you know, live chickens. That's all I needed to know. I don't need to know that Kamala is a regular person. I don't need to know that. And we'll talk about that further when I do the wrestlers that I was legit afraid of. But anyway, let's take a closer look at Kamala. All right, folks, why do we even bother leaning our figures on our shelves? They look horrible. They fall over. You should be ashamed of your display. If you want to clean it up, you go on Etsy, you look up 4 Left 3D Creations, and get yourself a Kamala custom LJN stand and make your figures properly display on your shelves. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite, absolute favorite figures, Kamala, the Ugandan giant or the Ugandan headhunter, depending on where he was wrestling. But here he is, Kamala, absolutely fantastic figure. We got a beard. We've got the face paint on the lips too. I remember Kamala had the face paint on his lips. The star and the moon, who knows what the heck that was all about, but there it is. The open chop hand that I love. The fist, the play pose is tremendous. The gut. It's not a Bundy kind of girthy figure, but it is perfect. A little short skirt there. I don't know about that. Barefoot. Maybe the skirt could have been a little longer. I don't know. Bare feet. Just a great, great figure. Oh, I just love this figure. Turn him around. Same old deal. Not a ton of detail on the skirt, but who cares? If you're wondering, underneath, we just got some skin tone. You were wondering. No Band-Aid. No Band-Aid on the heel, and no black trunks underneath. So this is what Kamala should have looked like. This would have kept kayfabe going for me if he was just like a squared off, kind of non-anatomical person. That would make more sense. But there he is, Kamala, one of my absolute favorite figures, and a figure that is really making me want to bust out the ring and have a good time with Kamala. Next up, we'll be taking a look at the infamous owner or, president, whatever, of the WWF, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. We will take a look at his figure next, but here's the Ugandan headhunter, Kamala.